didn't know Chicken was still here.
Nope.
Hello, kicking YouTube. Welcome to the Epilogue.
Hello.
Last time.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, you guys were.
Into the balls.
You guys,
Did something like
Fighting a
200
female
and some odd damage to the dragon and sent her back to hell.
yeah, well, a lot more than that.
broke Rogue.
No,
Oh,
one
I'm
swing.
broken. Still from bonding.
Oop. Oop. Tiamat being Tiamat, had well over 1,500 hit points. Healed at the start of every turn, unless struck with radiant damage. So I believe in turn, you guys did well over like 3,500 damage to her total. What? The last strike, the defeat, yeah, because let's see, on here. So she started with 1,520 for hit points. Round one, Cecile landed 188 points of damage. Round two, struck for 258 and some change. Oh no, she started with 1258. It was 123, 24 damage that was struck. Round three, 262 damage dropped, kills the blackhead. Round four, 293, which was one of our all-time highs, kills the redhead. Round five, the monstrous 345 damage. And because of the critical, kills both the white head and the green head simultaneously.
One of those was weakened by somebody.
And then round six, 139 damage. But between the rest of y'all, managed to take her out. And because, you know, the world-ending presence and all the other divine denial and so many actions, so many abilities, so many spells to cast, she didn't just plop over as a giant five-headed dragon. She more or less got essence dragged back to the hells, and in doing so caused her presence in the material plane to detonate in some magically necrotic boom, as such a life force was dragged kicking and screaming all the way back to the nine hells.
So what you're saying is we broke physics?
Yeah, that plane between material and Avernus got shattered for a bit. But in all those things, when the boom ended and everybody got back out, got down, got healed, got picked back up, that sort of thing, the kind of like the scape between the Well of Dragons and the nearby town that everybody was fighting in is just decimated.
Ooh.
The castle sits in ruins. The armies, Tiamat's armies have either been defeated, a lot have surrendered, a lot fled.
Those who didn't got dropped almost instantly when they decided to say no.
Mm-hmm. And then
With
Kirk.
the flying barbarian yelling at them.
And then Kirk's last bit of exhaustion plops. Let's see. Get everybody in here.
And wish spell.
Yeah. Drops himself to exhaustion by dropping a wish spell. Basically, anybody that had been killed. Using the wrong token. Anyone who
Tiamat's
was.
forces.
Yeah, anyone who was killed by Tiamat's forces, get back up. Which, for such a powerful spell, for the amount of bodies that littered the floor, littered the battlegrounds, that was a lot for the sorcerer. He instantly kind of plopped in full exhaustion.
It was kind of good this wasn't done in a city that we actually cared about.
Right? But yeah, essentially, if we consider... Oh, where is it? If we consider the map of the Sword Coast that we had been using...
Very zoomed in.
Very, very zoomed in. It's always zoomed in, weirdly.
Oh, better.
Let's go
AoE down here.
AoE, square. Okay, maybe not that big. Come on. No. Not there. Drag this up and drag that down so we can see. When considering the area, anything that's in that square with the above the Well of Dragons, that's all the battle. That's the battlefield. That is the hundreds upon hundreds of football fields of just battle. You're talking about two giant armies that decimated towns and anything stuck in between. I mean, it wasn't just one large battlefield where your few hundred fought your few hundred kind of thing. We're talking thousands upon thousands versus thousands upon thousands. Then you include however many dragons that were flying overhead, scorching the earth, and it was something. It was hell on earth.
Hell on favor.
That too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to
Oh, that's what this area looks like?
do something real quick.
Mhm.
I'm going to root around in my bag of holding. I'm going to pull out a small vial. I'm talking the size of a thimble.
Okay.
I'm going to walk over to our little Aarakocra friend. He's little. And she's going to say, drink this.
Mm.
It is called Dwarven Wake Up Juice. It'll make you feel better.
Okay.
Also,
Sounds it.
Jesus' body is still back there. 'Cause if I remember correctly, I didn't rejoin everybody. I was on my way back and saw that Jesus' body was there.
Yep, right in the middle of all of the chaos when Tiamat got yoinked back. What was left behind was a scarred up, bloodied Takesis plopping to the ground.
Your Aarakocra is out for basically 1 hour, and he wakes up fully refreshed.
Good man's taking a nap.
It's a vial of nap.
Me seeing that there's still a body there, Tim,
Mm-hmm.
and my rage doesn't stop until I tell it to.
Yep.
I think I still have some haste going.
Oh, you have all the haste going still.
I would like that body to not be recognizable as a body.
Okay.
No, that's not
I
good.
don't want I don't want a simple, resurrection spell to be able to bring her back in like less than a day. No, I want them to have to work for it. So Cecile is heading over there with her axe.
Why not destroy it beyond being able to be brought back?
This first. You can't. There's magic has a way. I want them to have to pull out the big guns if they want to bring her back. Because that'll at least ping it on the radar. But Cecile's
I mean, you
not
can turn
leaving.
half of it into a bloody pulp inside of a little
the
pocket
problem right
dimension,
now,
and
the problem right
they
now
don't have
is
access.
Cecile is not talking. Cecile is still
So
pumped full
Game
of
faced
rage.
on.
Like
So-
she's trying to pull it back. She's
so
wants that body to not look like a body anymore.
Amir is observing this, and as the party is kind of in this resting phase and just sees, and he's like thinking in his head, at this point, fuck fear. Fuck my PTSD. This is, I need to get back to work. I know it's been 100 years. I need to get back to work. But allowing Cecile to do whatever she needs to do kind of gets in between the group and Cecile. Doesn't pull out any weapons to look intimidating, just is on guard.
Mhm.
Amir still has a level of exhaustion.
Well, we're
Oh,
Yeah.
whenever Cecile drops this rage, Cecile is just going to probably drop.
Yeah. But
She had 2
Amir
haste
doesn't
spell
wanna
and
take
growth
any
potion.
chance.
so as the party starts to gather, I know you guys were kind of spread out. People went to go pick up those that had been down from the explosion, which I think were quite a number of people. Yeah, you just see Cecile beeline it to the middle of the collapsed castle, where you just see this, whether you use your fists or your axe, just starts wailing on the deceased corpse that was once Takesis.
I will reach out, put my hand on my daughter's shoulder. I think your friend might need you.
Alita is going to shake her head no. Because at this point, she knows better and just burrow herself closer into Hydroon's arms.
But for anybody who's like watching, there's probably just the sounds, there's probably rage screaming, there's probably a whole tirade of emotions being broadcasted from the top of the pile of this fallen castle. As for like a good, 5 minutes?
It's probably only like basically once the hastes run out. Cecile's running into that because when haste drops, you end up kind of sluggish and shit. So Cecile will probably try for like a minute after the haste runs out, and you can tell when the haste runs out because it does become much more sloppy, and that's probably when the axe goes down and fists come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's another minute And then she is just going to go onto the ground. Just kind of.
I hold up one of the little thimbles to Alita.
I say, because that's also going to knock you back to normal size too, isn't it? When you drop.
I don't. The growth potion I was given, I don't know what the time limit on that one was.
1 hour.
So I'm still big. But when the hastes run out, it's just there is now a enlarged Cecile, which is 14 and a half feet tall.
Wailing on the body of a dead 5 foot something, probably more like 6 foot with the horns.
As Amir's watching, people who are paying attention can see him shaking. Like he's trying to keep his composure, but it's very hard for him not to be still. As she gets sluggish and he sees her still going, he's a little bit more worried because, like, okay, she's not stopping. You can kind of tell that potions are wearing off, magic is wearing off, but she's still going. Doesn't look good through his perspective. And she finally collapses. He holds his breath unintentionally
I
for
will
about
give.
a minute.
I will give some behind the scenes context. If Kirk hadn't done what he had done, this would be worse.
Mm-hmm. After about a minute, he realizes he needs to breathe and sees that Cecile is still passed out and probably the calmest she's been in a hot minute. He will approach her, get close enough to inspect him, just make sure that she's okay. And once he can identify from a distance, then he starts to relax.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll go probably 5-10 feet away from where he was, and then probably just be on the ground, ready to pass out, but refusing to, because someone has to keep their head on a swivel.
Yep. But yeah. Cecile basically just flopped on the ground now and not moving until she has to, I guess.
So, as you guys kind of gather, couple of soldiers walk up to the group. Having a lot of them having watched with awe the enigmatic display of just rampage that Cecile was just going to town on. Between the chatter, they put together who was up there and what you were beating on. And one of the members of the Sealy Court, one of the soldiers, has a suggestion. Why don't we scatter her like you scattered the masks?
Hold on. I need to roll a D100 to see if Cecile's even conscious right now. I figured she was slumped. Kinda, sorta, not really. there's probably a grunt, and then whatever's left of Takesis' head gets picked up and chucked in their direction.
The horns
Mira
broken
is going
off
to
and
immediately catch.
And then just back to slump.
Pass it.
the soldier continues with, from what we've seen in this fight, we can scatter far and between the realms. We can take a portioner back to the Feywilds. You can hide a portion of her here. Some of you can even take a portion of her and hide her in the Hells or the Shadowfell. Make it harder for anybody from the cult to bring her back.
I know Hydrune's not close enough to actually hear them saying this because near Cecile and all that, but out of character, Hydrune can technically hide pieces of Takesis in two places:
Mhm.
Shadowfell
Which one?
and a pocket dimension.
Which one was her casting hand, Tim?
I don't think there was a difference.
Okay.
As a sorceress, it was probably just both. I mean, I know she also carried a staff. That was probably shredded.
I was going to go up to the body.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to look for the remnants of the heart. Put them in a jar and put it in her bag of holding. Never to be seen again. I'm giving it to Elminster's pipe.
While this is happening and now everything's going on, Nyla is going to kind of like lay where she's. Yeah, she's probably not anywhere near the others. She's just gonna like lay up, look at the sky, and I think for I want to say the one who can actually really tell would be either Perk or Cece. She would have a single tear go down her eye as she like looking up at the sky, and her first couple thoughts were her parents and Ravine. As she hold out like her fist and like points it up in the air, and just smiles and just chuckles dryly. Well, she just gives a smile and goes, "Fucking beat him. Hope you're watching." Before like just going, ugh. Not like passing out, but just laying back like undone.
So while you're given a couple of hours to kind of sit and recoup and let the emotions go out and let the strength come back. The Sealy court takes her head and part of her weapon, her staff, and their armies go back to
I will
the Feywild.
say Cecile does see them off.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, she doesn't go back there much. What's her name? Followed her. I mean, it wasn't really that she promised anything. Cecile threatened her, and she listened.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will see them off with, traditional salute and let them know that I will make sure to come through and express my appreciation. once I am able.
Oh yeah, there was at least a couple of hours of soldiers gathering and people looking for the crowd for their friends and figuring out where things were at. You know, there's already a group that are throwing the bodies of the dead on a pyre kind of thing, just to clear out the battlefield. Let's clean up a little bit before we do anything forward. It gives you plenty of time to recoup from the exhaustion. Everyone more or less gathered within eyesight, just kind of like whether you guys are sitting on the road or sitting on a stone or rocks and laying in the grass, you know, that hasn't been scarred or charred or anything, and just kind of recuperating.
Hydrune is going to kind of speak up, like, with a sudden thought crossing her mind. Didn't the last time this happened, the well need to be sealed by someone from my line, my family line?
Timmy, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
Mm.
Okay.
Playing with my mustache. I'm processing the thought process.
While you're processing, when Amir sees Cecile get up and basically be calm and act normal, he fully relaxes. He almost passes out because now he's like, okay, I don't have to be on guard. She
like you said, defenses. If Kirk hadn't done what he did, hey,
oh yeah,
it would not matter if they had.
Amir is aware, but he had to be ready for anything, and he's extremely happy for those who pay attention to him.
Kirk probably waking up from the go-go juice and feeling a little bit better, but still kind of lightheaded. Answers Hydrune with, I don't think last time they defeated her, I think they just pushed her back into the Avernus. Whereas you guys defeated her. Could this place use a little seal coat? Yeah, probably. But I wouldn't know the first thing of how to do any of that.
Yeah, neither would I.
I might know a couple of people.
But yeah, as a couple hours go by, one thing you start to notice is the boon changes that you guys were having had faded. Mm-hmm. So like all like the bone looks and stuff like that have kind of faded. But eventually what comes swooping in with a landing thud is a familiar Goldie.
Aw, not Pigeon.
He lands with a, so, shall we honor the deal?
Oh, Cecile's mask is...
Was that Gandor?
No, this is...
Prolanther.
Protanther.
Yeah, Protanther.
Yeah. Oh, Cecile's mask came off I guess fairly soon after things died.
Hydrun's holding her mask, just looking at it. Looks up at him. Do I have to? I really like using this.
Hydrun's got hers. She's probably got Ileda's too, because the moment that Ileda went like unconscious, she would have came back up from unconsciousness, would have peeled it off her face. Because nope.
I don't care about the others going back to you. I just want to hold on to this one, please.
Nyla's gonna hold out one of the dragon masks, one of the green dragon masks, as she's like lazily waving it, like, here.
I'll
with it. I don't care. Thank you.
I don't remember which one I had. I've red. I had red or white, I think. White.
Cecile had the white mask. Hydrun black. Tibbers had red. Nyla had green. Ileda had blue.
Timbers is passed out.
I'm currently holding.
Just go ahead.
I currently have both because, like was said, I now have Ileda's as well. But I'm holding and looking at the black one, looking back and forth between it and him, and it's like, please.
Allie looks over at Hydrun and says, "Do you love my child?"
Yes, but I also have the possibility of having an ally with that dragon that can get use out of.
I'm gonna have
the dragon's name.
I'm gonna look at Hydrun and be like, you have the dragon's name. If memory serves, gaining their respect without forcing them to respect you through a mask will probably go over better.
Think of it this way: do you want her blessing or no?
Whoa. I'm just gonna palm Nyla's head. She's like, they haven't even had a date yet. Stop.
That's how Nyla would say it, like, but entirely. That's like what she's gonna say.
I don't know. Cecile's gonna be like, they haven't even had time for a date. Calm down. Been trying to live for the last, I don't know how many months. Trust me, Hydrun, respect through fear and force is not.
Oh, it wasn't for that. It's more so I can properly communicate with it because I don't know Draconic.
I'll teach you.
I'll teach you Draconic.
There's ways to learn. But despite what Hydrun tries,
the water breathing in that is nice too.
Despite the call outs to Prolanther to keep the mask, he just kind of stares with that anticipating waiting.
I've got Nyla's mask, I've got Timber's mask, which I just assume I plucked from him. I've got mine. So I've got all three of these. Just kind of standing in front of Hydrun, like.
Hallie leans into Hydrun and says, "That look right there, this is your first lesson. That look means no."
Wait, does Alita know Draconic?
No.
Okay.
But
okay,
Alita is muttering sassily in Elven.
Oh, what are you muttering?
Probably something about, a wish to learn weird languages, but at the same time, something.
I'll respond in Elvish. Like, I already planned on teaching her Elvish. I'll just add Draconic to the list. It'll be a fun game. She's got to figure out which language it is when I'm talking.
Hallie looks over and goes, "Wait, you're dating someone who doesn't even speak our language?"
I'm gonna walk up to Hydrun with the look of a person who was with a person for a long time, and the best, as somebody who's been in a long-term committed relationship, just gotta hold out her hand and be like, "We'll fix the Draconic issue for you, but trust me."
It wasn't just the language with this. It was some of the other stuff I liked from the mask too.
What? What else?
You're dating someone who has a magic shop at their frickin' beck and call, and you're bitching about a frickin' mask?
We have all the money and all of the people who can make things happen in the world at our side.
Also, I like the way it looks.
We can fix. We can make you a mask. I didn't know you were into masks. Neat.
Alita? Don't make me call Pigeon.
The look adds to my intimidation factor when I'm trying to scare the shit out of my enemies.
Okay, I'm gonna look at Nigerian. If I make you a promise to make sure we can get you a mask, looks identical, made out of different materials, mind you, gives you the same benefits. We take this mask now.
I'm pretty sure we can find a dragon skull around here. I can take to make it out of.
Somewhere in the battlefield, somewhere in the large army behind you are the twins. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
You know what? Upon that, I just gonna be like, you know what? Here, toss them towards Perlanther and just be like, I'll be back. I'm gonna go look for some dragon bones. I'm gonna stock up for some projects.
Scales are better.
Oh, I'm getting scales, hide, and bones.
All right, so I have all 5 masks.
Mm-hmm.
No, I tossed my 2 directly at Perlanther.
I'll scoop them up. Yes, if they're closer to Perlanther, you can pick it up.
No, I frisbeed
I'll
them
bring 'em
at
all.
him.
Fight! Take it! So yeah.
I'll bring the other 3 over. Just offer them, basically.
And as he kind of leans down and get monstrous maw down even your enlarged size, he's still fucking massive.
It's been an hour. I'm back to normal fish.
Oh yeah, it would have been a few hours.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I'm still 7 foot something without that.
Yeah. He kind of exhales this magical, because he doesn't really have the hands or whatnot, and all 5 masks just kind of disappear.
For the fucking like he does that. It's a seal just very bluntly is like for the best.
Perlanther gives a very big draconic nod, which is unusual for him because he's Mr. High and Mighty, but showcases some respect for the party and thanks you for completing the deal.
I will take your ass out.
Thanks you for holding out of the deal. But the only other thing that you'd probably notice is that I'm guessing everyone's still wearing their badge.
Yes. Oh, that's on the armor, technically, isn't it?
Possibly.
It's just hovering over my shoulder.
I feel like if you weren't wearing the breastplate, you would have attached it to like the waistband of your pants.
It wasn't a physical thing. It was like a thing they put there, like magically.
Oh no, it was like a. Well, I mean, they magicked it on, but it's still a physical badge. It's something that is
not being displayed right now. Then, because I think I was wearing one set of armor, and then a different set of armor, and now I'm not wearing armor.
Okay, well, for the ones that do have it displayed, it glows gold.
I just gonna stop walking as he sees the glow out of the corner right. What?
Every member of your party pretty much has been grandfathered in as the, guess what, champions of the Draconic Council.
Mm.
Good job, guys.
Steely Courage. Like Cecile's just like
Are
Steely
you just
Courage.
collecting badges now?
I mean, I'm
Gotta catch
800
them all.
something years. I'm 800 something years old. It's not a shock that
at this point. Scout's gotta collect the badges.
There you go. Take the badge.
No, the badge is yours, silly little bard.
Oh.
That's something you don't give away.
Well, someone was collecting badges.
So what's going on with those badges, though? No. I'm collecting badges, apparently.
Yeah.
But when you're 800 something, that's bound to fucking happen.
No, these particular.
Makes a mental note. Because I just promised that I would come and pay my respects and give thanks to Steely Courts. It's just like, fuck, gotta add that into my list of things to do after everything's good.
How far away is Alita's little gnome friend, the one who's trying to give her badge away?
Not as by all.
Yeah.
I think at this point we're barely grouped up again.
She'll walk over to Nyla and she'll be like, she pulls out the little vial and says, "When you're ready, drink this. You'll feel better."
Give it to her now.
She'll like take the vial, look at it, and go, "What'd it do?"
It's the good whiskey.
Feel better. It's the good stuff.
Whiskey, okay.
Good nappy.
Cecile knows exactly what to say to get Nyla to just drink the thing.
It's a nap. It's basically you're out for an hour. You wake up feeling fully refreshed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All spells back.
It's like catnap from the Saturday campaign, but just an hour.
I just like smack her lips, like, "This is so good."
It's called Dwarven Wake Up Juice because you give because it's like Dwarven Ale. You drink it, you pass out, you wake up, you feel better.
Now if I could use that in real life.
Right.
Of the hair of the dog that bit you.
Lord.
Does Aelita need a nap? Mom says.
Aelita would just pass the nap off to somebody else. Her eyes are trained on the horizon where she can see Hydrune kind of pacing back and forth collecting dragon parts, and she's sitting cross-legged in the grass, just watching.
Why can't I find it? Oh, that's right. Yeah. So the Talons of Justice, which is that Protanther gave to you guys, that had the blue shield with the swords crossed and the silver dragon head on the front of it. When you were given it, you were told that it was an order that was mostly considered of silver dragon paladins, dedicated to Bahamut, and because the group had kind of died out, you guys were given here's proof that you were working with us kind of deal. Yeah, it begins after you guys had fully completed the deal, gave the dragon masks to the council, per the agreement that you guys had made however long ago.
At this point, who knows?
The dragon head.
I remember what happened, not when.
The dragon head on the badge glows gold.
Oh. I see. Half up front, the other half later. So before we had the majority of the council saying these are our champions, but now with gold, it now specifically marks that the leader as well considers us their champions.
Yep. Because there's no longer the Talons of Justice. There's no longer the Platinum Knights that were basically vassals of Bahamut that ran around Faerun kind of thing. This was kind of like his stamp on it. That you guys are pretty much his Talons of Justice, specifically.
I only know of one Platinum Knight left in Faerun.
Yeah, they're very few and far between, if not at all.
Yeah.
But since the Order has kind of died out, the Slayer 7 has become the new Talons of Justice, the new Order. Whether you guys act on it or keep on it or not, it's kind of like, hey, this is a bonded badge. Even if someone tries to steal it, it will somehow find its way back in your lap. It is a bonded to the person type thing.
Soulbound.
It's soulbound.
Flavor, Jimmy. Flavor, because I'm in barbarian mode at the moment. For Cecile, it shows up like a tattoo just on her skin. Right arm, main arm, just there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no matter what outfit you put on, no matter what you do, it's going to showcase itself somewhere as kind of like this call sign that, you know, you guys are basically the saviors of the world. And with a respectful nod and whatnot, he takes off.
Same back.
With the majority of the council. They poof. About this time, the starry sky, now that a lot of the clouds have scattered and some of the fires have raged down, it's getting cold fast, it's getting dark fast. A lot of the armies are setting up camps, are loading up carts, you know, preparing basically camp out and start heading home tomorrow. I'm assuming you guys also kind of take camp refuge. There's probably a partial building that you guys can kind of take comfort in.
After, oh, do we want to camp out in a building or do we want to wait for Nyla to wake up?
Do you just want me to set up a hut?
You know what? Hut feels good.
She reaches in her bag and she basically pulls out a small hut that's basically Nyla's spell attached to an item. And she tosses it up and it poof, it's there.
What spell?
Oh, Nyla also has.
At some point between then and now, Hadroon has gone from searching for dragon stuff to finding the brothers, being like, "Hey, did you happen to have any sort of chest on you that works like a bag of holding but better?"
They said they left theirs at home.
I have one in the hut.
Are you talking about the Magnificent Mansion?
One of them actually has a walking chest, like a sentient chest that follows them around like a dog. But they left that at home. They said they left it at the forge.
I got a lot of dragon stuff. I got more dragon stuff I want to collect for projects that I want to work with you guys on.
I can open a gate to the forge if you want.
So when you
Ooh.
basically pull out the item to activate the tiny hut,
Yeah.
because of the recent explosion of magical matter, because of the rift between here and Avernus, the area magic is puzzling out at the moment.
Oh, okay.
The area has kind of temporarily been.
It's a magic dead zone.
It's kind of like a magic dead zone, based just because of how Tiamat got sucked back in.
The geomagnetic spot between here and my mother-in-law's that there's no cell reception. No, I'm serious.
Oh, yeah.
There's one specific turn. It's dead. GPS, nothing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, when you guys first came into the well, the entire area was just seething with magical energy. They even had that barrier up over the entire well, kind of thing.
Damn. There goes my idea.
I can't open a small gate to if the brothers want to take a walk with me outside the area to if they want tools and equipment, but it's only going to be a small gate.
No, they're just okay to camp out. They'll handle anything with the forge in the morning.
Cecile is more or less go look at everybody like morning. Morning is when we solve things, and then without doesn't even try and open the bag of holding to get out of bedroll. None of that happens. Cecile promptly takes her helm off, puts it on the ground, uses it as a pillow, and just passes out.
Mom covers everybody with blankets. Just pull them out of my bag.
Yep. So all the magical shelters are like, well, we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Even the army, you can tell there are different spellcasters and whatnot that are like, God damn it, we can't set fire, so everyone's going old-fashioned way. Good thing there's plenty of destruction in the area because running, you actually see the occasional person with a big old wooden stick walk up to a flaming inferno and sticks it in, pulls it out, runs back, starts a campfire with it, kind of deal.
I was considering doing a demi-plane to try to toss some dragon parts into, but you said anti-magic zone at the moment, so...
Oh yeah, at the moment, you're noticing a lot of the different types of magic in this area is... Potions are different. So heal potions and whatnot, they work just fine, but for the most part, casting, it's the air just doesn't allow it. It's trying to start... Chemical,
not
Yeah, it's trying to cast high level magics or certain magics is trying to start a fire underneath water. It's just
the weave needs a rest.
Yes,
basically.
I'm actually going to use one of my skills, one of my traits. I'm going to use my chef's trait, and I'm going to round up stuff and make everybody a good meal.
Hell yeah.
When it's determined that, hey, we're just going to crash here underneath the starlight, and Amir's got some strength back, he's going to kind of sit up and I'll be back. And then he goes to find Sledge. Just to see where he's at, if everything's okay, and...
The first person that Sledge sought out was Sister Gorell. He had to confirm that his boys were back safe and sound. And the first thing she did when the battle was considered over is she sent a raven to make word to them. Yeah. That they were okay. So when you find Sledge, him and Sister Gorell are talking. He's thanking her for keeping an eye on the boys. She's asking him what he's doing after all this is over. She's trying to invite him to stay in Blackfall. He's mentioning that in-city life isn't necessarily good for him, but he promised he'd be close. Him and his boys are probably going to venture out and make a home for themselves, and very like his draconic Dragonborn clan, they're probably going to just vanish into thin air because they like stealth and hiding. They could be still in the area, as he promises, but he's like, yeah, inner city life's not for him.
Yeah. Amir's gonna give one of his little tokens. Like, probably can't use it right now. Might have to travel a little bit, but this is a quick way to get back to your boys.
He takes it almost timidly. You sure?
100% positive.
And he just kind of like looks off in the distance. I wonder how far I got to go to use it.
Oh no, that's not what I
Given
wanted.
all this, I would suggest pretty far.
Ignore that. Sorry.
Jabril might have a better gauge.
This girl just kind of shrugs. Her scrying is useless right now.
I suggest at least getting a good night's sleep, but I know what those boys mean to you.
The weave in this area has kind of been blasted away like an atomic, like a bomb, and it's going to take a while for it to.
Just
It's gonna slowly come back.
Yep.
Cecile has a teleport helm and probably took said helm off to use as a pillow. She was like, even if it did work, teleporting in this kind of no.
I can see there's enough debris and whatnot that between a couple of the party members, you guys can kind of make a half-ass gazebo or something like that to give you guys like partial shelter. Like, hey, we're gonna.
Cecile just picked a spot and
Oh,
put
I
the
know.
helm down. That's it.
Which means if anyone makes shelter, they're gonna have to make it around you. But even if it's like even if it's just like a half-ass wall on a stilt or something like that, just to provide a little bit of wind coverage or whatnot. But yeah, otherwise open sky. While everybody rests and drinks and some little gatherings out in the battlefield, there are some little groups of people that are trying to song and dance and trying to celebrate. A lot of the battlefield's still kind of quiet and sombered. Some of them feel like they're just exhausted. There's a lot of snoring that starts to echo throughout the area. But you guys are still kind of far away from that's just kind of like glimmering lights in the distance. You guys are much closer to the castle and the crumbled wreckage. Between the few of you going, getting supplies, hunting some game that still survives in the area, managed to make something decent and hearty. I know a bunch of you had beverages and things like that, so you guys eat and drink plenty, or just sit there and stall logs for the indefinite future.
Let me roll see if I even wake up.
Are the plates working?
Plates?
Yeah, grandma's
plates.
Oh, cookie plates. The plate that bakes the cookies that you want, no matter where you grab.
I think that's lower level. That's enchanted item. That'll work.
All right, I pull out my my plates, and I pull out the 2 plates that I have and put them down, and I pull out my 1 pitcher. Whatever you pour out of the pitcher is what you want to drink.
Oh.
So yeah, more reasons. Everyone gathers around.
Pulls a tankard out of her bag, grabs that pitcher, and pulls the strongest ale she can think of.
Dwarven grog. Ooh.
She to Nyla, she will grab out her little thing, grab out a tankard, and she'll pull out the great, at least in her family or in her kingdom, the strongest
I wake up at the smell of alcohol.
Actually, no, it's not dwarven grog.
Is
She
it the
put
smell of alcohol, or is it the plate of cookies that Aelita just put next to your head?
Both.
Probably
Both.
both, but it's
It's-
probably
it's-
not
No.
like.
It's
What Hydra poured?
food.
Was that
Mm.
that strong mystery drink that was given to her back in Hammerfell for the drinking contest?
Oh.
Oh, Cecile grabs a couple of cookies, chugs a good amount of the mystery drink, and falls back asleep.
That's what Hydrun just poured herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
Mir's grabbing some home good, some meat from his home, and cookies from his home that he probably hasn't had in centuries.
Oh, they are
Sorry,
delicious.
Wait. Hold on. Small retraction. Amir pulls stuff from home?
Yeah.
Like the Feywild?
From the cookies and the Amir
plate
isn't exactly
in,
from the Feywild.
pitcher.
Gotcha.
They pour and make whatever. They pour whatever drink you're thinking of. Whatever you pour drink you want, and they make whatever cookie you want.
With the pitcher that she's drowning, putting in her tankard, she's pouring herself some Gogandy.
So what?
Gogandy. It's it's the deep gnomish wine.
Okay.
I am pouring pouring myself a nice glass of elven
Fountain
wine.
of memory.
Nope, I said what I said.
So
Good God.
I said what I said.
you guys spend the next few hours chatting, drinking, eating. Some of you probably pass out, sleeping.
Resist.
17. Yes.
Yep. Nyla's kind of regaling. Eventually, after it's now who knows what time, 2:30 something, maybe 3, 4 in the morning. At this point, there's this quiet. Everyone's asleep. And or goes to bed kind of deal. Except for one of you decides to stay up, sitting around the fire as everybody else is sleeping.
Hydrun does.
All right.
Works. The fact that Cecile was actually sleeping should be startling to some people. Well,
I was gonna
not
say.
startling.
I was probably not
Hydrun
sleeping.
saw it once before, and so what led to that. Hydrun's not surprised that this led to Cecile actually sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Don't do it much.
Amir is only able to rest because Cecile is actually being able to rest.
Me. Okay, sorry.
So am I supposed to be rolling anything?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
So yeah, you're. There we go. You're just kind of quietly sitting at the fire, poking some coals, just trying to wrap your head around everything. You're still in thought over
I'm
that.
Humming to myself.
Yep, you're still kind of in thought on what to do now. You're a little concerned with the area, kind of like the lack of magic, the ceiling, as you were talking about before. And as you're just kind of like forever gazing into the fire, not really paying attention to anything around you, you just kind of hear like a voice trickling into play. In all of my millennia, I didn't think you'd actually do it. I didn't think it was possible. the voice kind of catches.
Looking around.
You kind of look up, and directly across the fire is a hobbled old man in a black hood, big old white beard, but kind of staring through the fire.
Up in the ruins?
Mm-hmm. But kind of stares at you with those piercing void black eyes that kind of gives himself away a little bit.
What do you mean? What exactly do you mean that you didn't think it'd actually be able to be done, Null?
Destroy my sister.
You saying we actually destroyed her? Destroyed her?
Destroyed her in a way where she has been casted back to the deepest regions of the hells. They took her.
Is it possible for her to ever come back?
In my family, there's always a chance. But
right,
you've at least increased the difficulty. Before she rose this time, her essence was gathered in one place in the hells. She is now split throughout the layers of the hells, like the masks are going to be scattered throughout the planes of existence.
So, like how her physical her form here is being scattered.
That was a good twist.
Oh, first chance I get, a part of that's going in the Shadowfell, another part in a demi-plane.
It's going to make it extremely difficult for any one of her followers to try and do this again. Who knows, the next time she'll be powerful enough to escape. But it's not going to be in any one of your lifetimes.
Well, if I can try to set something up now, maybe there'll be a better advanced warning to be able to put a stop to it sooner next time. Even if that is several thousand years down the road.
Until then, this place will lack the very thing it needs to activate.
The magic?
She's agreed to keep this a, no pun intended, dead zone for as long as possible.
You talking Mistra?
Mm-hmm.
Means I'm gonna have a long trek both in and out of here to get the for the materials I want from these chromatics. Damn. Okay. I'll just come back with a couple wagons.
Over the years, the dead zone circle will draw closer and closer to the center of this place. That won't be for a while. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, by the time it actually shrinks down to that point, I'll probably be long gone. I am just a human after all.
I think everybody here that you know will be long and gone before even think about it. Even your great-grandchildren probably won't even have to worry about her. And the last few times she's emerged, it's been just a few millennia, a few thousand years in between. I have a feeling she'll be gone a lot longer now.
Yeah.
Back when I walked this land with my brother and sister in tow, this very place was our home. And now it will serve as a warning to anyone who dares try to disrupt the balance.
You hungry or thirsty? We got some cookies and of whatever kind you want, and any type of drink you want.
You're very kind, but I haven't needed any kind of food or drink more than I could remember. No need to start again now.
Not even for the old time's sake of just having the feeling of drinking something or eating something.
Had I decided to arrive earlier, I might have decided to join you in your team partake in food and drink, but nope. I just wanted to thank you. And you'll have to let your team know as well.
I will.
But I didn't necessarily want to leave you empty-handed either.
What do you mean?
I feel like you've earned something. And if it is within my power and will to do so, I would make it done. What is it that you want?
He sits there and thinks about it for a moment. She turns and looks back towards Aelita. And then back at No. It'd be possible for me to have the same lifespan as her over there. That's all I want.
An interesting choice. I saw you didn't want to give up the Black Dragon mask.
No, but I can get something close to looks anyway made. I got plenty of dragon bones in that around here. It was more the aesthetic I really wanted from it anyway. And besides, with a blank slate, a mask that I get made, I can get it enchanted with whatever I would like. As I see fit when the time comes.
So you want a life as long as hers, huh? Consider it done. In a manner of speaking. And he kind of gives you like a wicked smile.
What do you mean?
When you see it, you will know. He kind of gets up. Magician can't give away all of his secrets. Well, I'm hoping I can call upon you again when necessary.
Well, I don't think anything can get much worse than what we just went through with your sister. So, not unless the literal gods get involved, but I hope not.
Well, he gets up and kind of brushes himself off. I'm gonna leave you now. I don't know when we'll meet again, if we'll meet again. But know that if I need you, I know where to look.
He'll be watching. I know.
And kind of just steps into the darkness and just kind of fades away. Your patron.
Mm-hmm.
You have a physical thing that kind of showcases that you work for her.
I don't recall what that is, other than unless Delta is considered that.
Yeah, you'll have to.
As far as I know, the scythe doesn't quite necessarily scream Raven Queen.
No, you'll have to either summon your scythe or Delta in order to find that out.
Pretty sure those are low level enough. I could actually do either one of those right now.
Yeah, probably. Those are
Call
bound.
Delta, try to just be able to give her something out of my pack, something to eat.
You expect a black feathered raven to appear.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, what calls is a black and white miniature wyvern. A little tiny thing.
Mm-hmm.
It still replies to Delta. The same black feathery eyes kind of stare at you. But Delta isn't a raven.
Did I get swap patrons again?
And almost does.
Third time's the charm?
See?
Do you call upon your scythe?
Yes.
Before your scythe looks like an old wooden, blackened, bladed, feathery staff that kind of symbolized the Raven Queen. You now have this jet black, almost the scythe handle looks like it's made out of dragon bone. This pure obsidian dragon bone look. The blade kind of has this weird ebony silvery glow, and the very top, where the top of the handle where the blade meets it, is the visage of Null. Somewhere in the back of your head, you kind of hear the chuckle of, she gets one champion, I get a champion. Because last Ravine was supposed to be her champion.
I'm going to try something. Because it's a cantrip, I feel like I might be able to do so. I want to try to just cast a firebolt straight up into the sky, but I want to try using the ability that I had before, being able to turn anything necrotic, and try to just do a necrotic bolt into the sky. Did that change?
It fizzles out, but you still have that same ability.
Okay.
All the same mechanics, just a different person driving it.
Okay. I'm just gonna. Scythe goes away, and I just sit there, looking at Delta. Well, you can't blend in as easily as you did before. Still gonna care for you the same way, but still.
Oh, very, very much so.
As I toss her a piece of meat from my pack.
You need to get out of my head.
Never. Not gonna happen.
Want to share with the class?
Because that's exactly what is happening right now.
Want to share with the class?
It's a kick.
Someone posted in Kick, me thinks Snow might be possessive of their bloodline. Dragons really don't like sharing. No, they don't.
Listen, there's a reason we're friends.
Gosh.
Are we still asleep, or?
I'd say by this point, it's getting on morning. People are waking up.
I will say Cecile slept for real, but at the same 4-hour mark of the trance, probably woke up.
Just because body used to.
Mm-hmm.
And that fact that elves don't. Elves don't need sleep.
You can.
The elf needed sleep.
The elf needs sleep. Oh, the elf also.
Elf, I said elves.
Same thing. Elf also never got a tally to make sure Remy was okay, or Dylan. So after sleeping of 4 hours, it was like, everybody here is in one piece. I sense a presence watching, but it's not mean. So I'm gonna go check.
I will say that while Null was there in the metaphysical sense, because characters like Alisaria was probably not sleeping like everybody else was, Hydrun was just staring into the fire. Just suddenly acted strange when she alerted and started summoning their bonded weapon and stuff like that.
Alisaria probably figured out it was a telepathic connection, considering she is a telepath.
There was a presence, but you have no idea what transpired, more or less. Yeah.
Private conversation.
It's like playing Baldur's Gate, and you get the party members in a private dialogue, and you're just like, "Son of a bitch." I want to know.
Nyla's gonna wake up, and then she's gonna grab from her bag of holding some paper and her quill and ink. She's gonna start writing a letter.
Okay.
No, to be clear, Cecile went to make sure Remy and Dylan were still alive. Did not wake them up in the middle of the night. Oh wait, they're both elves, aren't they? So they were probably awake.
If Cecile had gotten up and moved, Allie would have gotten up and put her hand on her shoulder.
You find Remy.
I'm not going to fight. Just want to make sure my friends are still alive.
I just want to make
I
sure
explained
you're
that.
all right. I don't care.
I will be.
I don't care what the Harper's mandate is. I just want to make sure you're all right.
We'll be soon. I just have to make sure they're okay.
You find Remy completely fine. When you meet up with her, of course, you ask about Dylan. She's points to a small tent and mentions that he just needs some time. Regaling you that during the fight, he took lethal damage, and when the Emerald Enclave thought that they lost another leader, he just snapped back to full health because the wish spell brought him back, and he's still processing. She tells you that at one point in the middle of the night he was murmuring something about he had died, but now he's not. But he died, but he's not. He was dead for a little bit, but now he's not. And she was like, he's always been a little seclusive, but he's gonna need a little time to process, but he'll be fine.
That's par for the course.
Dylan was one of the first groups to arrive to the battlefield, so he had been one of the ones fighting the longest. So as more and more enemies showed up, as more and more allies showed up, and it got more chaotic, he ended up taking a sword through the chest. But now he's fine.
Yeah, that requires some therapy.
Mm-hmm. There are other mentionings. Remy asks if you know what happened, because she was like, I thought it was going to have a really nasty scar on my arm, as she notes that she had taken a partial shield blow to the arm and stuff like that, and, you know, ripped off a good chunk of flesh and just chaotic. And she was like, and then it was just fine.
Birdman.
Birdman?
Blue Birdman.
Did you get hit with rain?
What did he do?
She got hit by rain. Either rain or Birdman.
Well, for her it was probably the rain that.
Yeah,
because she
look at your arm. That'd be the rain from.
Mm-hmm.
It's either Alita or Alita's mom. I don't know. They were keeping us going against Tiamat. Him? That was Birdman.
Mm-hmm.
Have she reacted at all to me being big, bulky barbarian lady rather than fighter?
Not verbally, but she is kind of. She's been, since you've approached, she's been in this semi-defensive stance, where at the drop of a hat she could bolt any direction.
I was about to say, I left my axe back with everybody else. However, Cecile was still made of muscle.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you've also taken time to, like, wipe off, so you probably just covered bits of dried blood here and there.
If I'm clean in any aspect, it's due to the rain, and that is it. I'll just look at her and be like, I need to wrap up one or two things, and then I'm going back, and then I'm going again. Wasn't initially my choice. Takesis did some fuckery.
Your eyes scream treasure hunt.
One of Takesis's stronger mages sent Alyssa somewhere. We don't know where. But it's not on this plane. I have promises I need to keep, but I need to find her.
Well, we'll most undoubtedly be here when you get back.
If I get back, but yes. You and I both know I pushed myself well beyond what should be considered reasonable.
That you do. Also, was this a choice or a necessity?
Yes. Choice made out of necessity.
I will have to get used to it.
For now, like I said, I plan, before I go find her, I am reverting back. Too many memories like this. And not enough, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll keep my distance until I'm back.
Too many memories told to you for that form.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I've read a couple books.
Been informed on a few history lessons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Watched Amir shit his pants a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. That too.
So, and after some time, our epilogue begins. So the skies over the Well of Dragons are silent now, the last echoes of Tiamat's fury fading into a reluctant calm. The realm that had teetered on the edge of annihilation now breathed a collective sigh of relief. The heroes stood at the heart of the battlefield, their faces smeared with blood, ash, and the marks of battle that had reshaped the world. The finality of it all hasn't yet sunk in. The weight of Tiamat's defeat felt both monumental and impossible. As if the gods themselves might have just been as surprised as anybody. As far as Hadron got the confirmation, yeah, they were surprised that this managed the way it came out. The fallen allies, those brave souls who had fought so fiercely by their side, now rising from the ground, their wounds knitting together and their spirits returned by the impossible magic of the sorcerer's wish. It was a miracle, a victory not just of strength, but of hope, for even death had been defied today. Slowly, the party and the armies make their way to Waterdeep. The hearts full with the triumph, this monumental battle, and many souls they have saved from the brink of destruction. The streets of the city filled with banners, flags, and the sounds of celebration as the continuation of the rebuild was in full force. The word of Tiamat's fall was spreading quickly, and the people of Faerun began to breathe easier, knowing the Queen of the Dragons no longer threatened their lives. Council of Waterdeep waited eagerly for them, ready to witness the final chapter of this epic tale. Daggelt and Neverember, being one of the enigmatic Dandimar, and the others greeted the adventurers as heroes. Though each had already heard whispers of their victory in the northern lands, the original meeting was a quiet one, dignified, recapping between you guys and the Council of Waterdeep. They spoke of alliances formed, treaties to uphold, and the world that now had a chance to rebuild. The Dragon Council, too, arrived. Ancient dragons with scales that shimmered like jewels, now forever indebted to the heroes who destroyed Tiamat's malevolent influence. Through it all, the party remained humbled, steadfast in their bond. They knew their victory was not just of weapons, but of sacrifice, of friendship, and the shared belief that they could face anything together. But even as the weight of what they had accomplished began to settle, the future called. The world was safe, yes, but it was still needing tending. New leaders will rise, and the scars of war would need to heal. The party was needed, their talents indispensable, as both guardians and guides for the new age that was beginning. Couple of days after you guys show up to Waterdeep, you guys are all welcomed for a celebration that has been going on for a few days. Waterdeep's castle has been restructured because it had taken a heavy hit at one point as everyone fled to Blackfall. But as the parties begin, at some point you guys see a silvered-haired being that you have talked to over and over and over steps forward, and her presence is, however, commanding. Kind of slowly draws silence over the crowd. The scene is one of triumph. The great hall of Waterdeep is alive with cheers and applause. Lady Silverhand, the open lord of Waterdeep, stands before the assembled party of heroes. Her face filled with pride and gratitude, she steps forward, her hair flowing, her silver hair flowing, her regal presence commanding attention. My brave champions, my valiant protectors of this world, you have done what many thought impossible. You have faced the five-headed terror that is Tiamat herself, and you have emerged victorious. The world will forever remember your names, your courage, your sacrifices. The gods smile upon you this day. She kind of pauses, her grace weeping over the party, the weight of her words kind of like, holy crap, you guys didn't just save Sword Coast, you guys saved all the favor. I stand before you not only as the open lord of Waterdeep, but as one who has seen firsthand the devastation Tiamat sought to bring upon us all. You have saved not just Waterdeep, but every single city, every village, and every life in the realms. Your deeds will be sung in the taverns and passed down through the ages. She kind of nods to the side, motioning for her attendants to bring forward a couple of chests and satchels. There we go. As a token of my gratitude and that of the entire Sword Coast, I offer you these riches. These treasures are yours, for you have earned them hundredfold. Lady Silverhand gestures to a large chest, which is open to reveal gold, jewels, and magical items. The majority of these things aren't necessarily hers. As she says, among the spoils, you shall each receive 10,000 gold pieces, which was the part of the Tiamat's hoard that they have uncovered. There is an enchanted chest containing some magical artifacts chosen to enhance future battles. These treasures are a reminder that you carry the weight of the realms with you. You have proven that courage and unity can overcome the greatest evils. May you continue to serve as protectors of the realm, and may your paths ever be guided by the light of justice. Silverhand raises her hand in a gesture of blessing. Go now, heroes. The world is yours to shape. The legends you have begun today will echo throughout time. Farewell, and may your strength never falter. With that, she steps back, leaving the victors to bask in their hard-earned glory, the treasure, and the knowledge that they have saved the world from certain doom. Eventually, when the formalities of the councils were done, the group makes their way back home to Blackfall. The journey was long, but it was a journey of celebration. Friends, allies, and those who had believed in them gathered there to welcome them back, to raise a glass in their honor. They'd faced the wrath of dragons and the end of worlds, and they had come back victorious. That night, first night back, was filled with laughter, song, and tales of the wildest exploits. In the warm glow of the hearths, the party shared stories of their victories, of their darkest moments, and how, against all odds, they had stood tall. But as the night grew deep, the weight of journey finally begun to show their faces. Each one of them had lost something along the way, but they'd gained something too. A deeper understanding of each other, families formed from the fires of battle. And when the sun finally rose over Blackfall, it found the heroes at rest but ready. For even though Tiamat had been slain, the world was still a place of wonder and danger, where new challenges and quests awaited. And as the first rays of dawn touched the warm stone of Blackfall's keep, the party knew one thing for certain. They were home. And they were ready for whatever came next. And with that next, we know that Cece eventually starts understudying more heavily with the twins, and kind of picking up what Kirk had started with. Cece eventually becomes a kind of like a treasure hunter, but not like magical artifacts treasure hunting, like raw material thing. He'll use his gunsmithing and artificing to find rare materials to bring back for, as he calls his uncles, to myth and
No, his
practice or trade.
grandpa's.
Grandpas. They come back and get their trade. Kind of more confident in his abilities rather than hiding behind everybody. He'll take kind of a step forward and become basically a long distance paladin. I'm gonna snipe you, but from way over there.
I'll be safe.
I want to stab that motherfucker from all the way back here.
I know that Timbers eventually bids farewell to Nyla, and him and his druidic party go off to more or less try to start one of the joins the Emerald Enclave.
Make one of the most chaotic druid circles ever.
Well, not necessarily druid circles, goes off to make one of the largest reserves of different exotic animals from the area. So yeah, basically a protected forest filled with creatures and animals, left side from everything.
AKA a druid grove.
Yeah. Goes off and starts himself a druid grove.
I know Nyla's just gonna like be upset, but she's gonna like be happy for him. She's gonna hug the crap out of Timbers and kind of like watch him leave.
Yeah, it's very clear to tell that Tatiana rubbed off on him a little bit.
Tatiana.
Huh?
Tatiana?
Mm.
Or Brianna?
Oh, yeah, Brianna.
Brianna.
Brianna. Sorry, I had the names right. I had the Anna right.
Druid crush.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brianna probably snuck into the area after everybody was gone and made sure all the fires were out completely. And with the help of Sylvanas, regrew as much as she possibly could to hide the scars of the area.
Mm-hmm. Eventually,
let's go back to go drop some more nukes on.
Eventually, there's probably let's say a 10-mile radius around the center of the Well of Dragons that is like a complete dead zone still. It's a pretty massive area, so all of the trees and wildlife kind of grew back up to that ring. So there's this massive kind of deserted desert lake, cragged rock emptiness where magic can't touch, and
should probably do some planescaping too, and pull the rock and stone up around that area so that nobody can enter it either.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a new mountain in that area.
Or some sort of base wall where unless you go over it, you really can't get into it.
Yep.
After Hudson has taken wagons back to be able to grab dragon stuff.
Also, during a lot of this traveling back and forth, Aelita, you just can't put your finger on it, but your girlfriend just seems different.
Oh. Aelita is going to put both hands on either side of Hydrune's face and stare at her intently.
Oh, to be funny? Funny.
What?
In whatever time frame, Cecile has been trying to teach Hydrune some Elvish and some Draconic. Cecile has specifically taught Hydrune the Draconic for the word something, but not the Elvish.
Son of a bitch.
Been very careful.
With a passive perception of 21, what is different?
Don't think we can do perception on this one.
My insight is also a 21 for passive, and my passive investigation is an 11.
No, we need something a little bit more sensing. Roll me an Arcana check with advantage.
Oh fuck.
1 second. I have to make my computer not hate me for like 2 seconds. I've had to reboot it twice since session started.
Oh boy.
With advantage.
Oh,
You got 21?
a 21.
That just seems to be Aelita's magic number of the night.
While staring into her eyes, you kind of get a self-reflection. There is an unseen bond between Hydroon and yourself. And the more you try to see it in Hydroon, the more you see a reflection of yourself. And through,
she quite literally tied my life to hers.
no, not quite. In layman's terms, Hydroon's now a half-elf.
Okay.
Go from human variant to half elf. Cool.
And
Dude, does a 21 reveal enough of that? Yeah. As long as Hydroon remains in service, that is where the bond between you are forever.
So you've now become like Brianna. You're immortal.
So if they break up, Hydroon loses. No?
No.
As long as Hydroon stays in service to Null, the two of them are immortal.
Oh,
In that lovely little genie tweak of what you want, but with a twist. Yeah.
So you tied yourself to Null, and you tied your girlfriend to Null, kind of. Without talking to your girlfriend, but at the same time, it's kind of genie-wish, so it wasn't exactly your fault.
I didn't expect a quote unquote deity to decide, oh, I'm going to do genie rules here.
They'll be in good company. Her Aunt Brianna will always be around.
You have to remember, Null is neutral. He doesn't take the good, he doesn't take the bad. He finds a way to mix them. So yes, as long as you are a willing champion of Null, you are immortal. And because you wished to have as long of a life as Aelita, she is also immortal. Because she can't just up and die on you if you can live forever, kind of thing.
Interesting.
Okay then. No, you cheeky bastard.
What did you expect from a dragon god?
Mm-hmm. What did you expect from Badger?
Oh, the cheeky bastard was directly him too.
I couldn't
because he is the dragon god.
like I couldn't just give you the good. I didn't want to curse you. I had to find a happy medium. So yes, as long as you are in service to Null, the two of you can't die. Naturally.
Well, that's good.
Well, I guess I'm going to be in charge of Black Falls military for quite a long time.
You'll have plenty of time to learn Elvish and Draconic.
And every other language under the sun.
But here's the thing.
Maybe even
This-
create a few.
This information, Aelita's the one that figured it out. She can choose whether she wants to let you in on it or not. It's not public knowledge. This is what Alita is seeing and sensing through just the, why do you seem different? Oh, that's why.
Alita's gonna be a cheeky little shit. As she is. And she is going to smile, kiss Hydroon, and go, oh, nothing, I love you, and then walk away.
Yes.
So
That was
water.
literally what
What
I
do you
was about
mean?
to type. I was typing Alita going, oh, honey, and then explaining nothing.
Like, I know I was announcing this to the party, but the only one who has this knowledge is Aelita.
Cheeky smile, cheeky kiss, nothing, I love you, and then walks away back to the library.
This is a moment that needs to be animated.
Just that moment of like peering through her eyes and just like the screen just kind of snaps through. You see all this, information lore, and then just snaps back to, nothing. Bye.
Love you.
It's Aelita going, hey, Mistra, what the fuck? Gets the explanation. Ah, that the fuck. I love you. Bye.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What?
and something that you probably would have gotten a little bit deeper information on with that too, that Hydroon only kind of suspects. Hydroon no longer has ties to the Raven Queen.
Mm-hmm.
She has been told to bugger off.
By multiple gods at this point.
Mhm.
One at a time, damn it.
Mhm.
One chick.
One sugar
Gee.
parent.
He told Cthulhu to fuck off when she took me. Now she got told to fuck off by Null, as he took me.
Well, you had the
get to
fiend
have
before.
One sugar parent. You are one draconic sugar baby.
I go from the, like I said, Cthulhu, the fiend.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, Null in the Draconic Pantheon is at the same height of Mistra in the Mortal Pantheon. So congratulations, the two of you are on an even playing field.
No, they're never going to be on an even playing field. Alita will always be one step ahead of Hydroon.
It just comes back to that even playing field when they want to say whose god is better.
If you want to compare whose god is older, Hydroon's got you beat. Your goddess has been replaced 1 or 2 times.
Yeah.
Cecile in fighter form has pretty damn good passive insight. So
Mhm.
it's not so much she's trying to read. Not passive. Perception. Perception investigation are Cecile's strong suits, at least in the fighter setup. So Cecile sees whatever happens, sees Aelita clock something, and then not explain it to Hydroon and walk away, so Cecile's just smiling. Just grinning and also not explaining anything.
I look at Cecile and in Sylvan. Why are you smiling? What am I missing here?
nope, Null did a really good job following through on what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all Cecile is going to explain.
I do have one question out of character. Did the ears somewhat change because half elf?
Not necessarily.
Mm-mm.
That's why I'm asking.
Nope. Physically,
Oh,
you don't. You physically, there's no change. But
Max and Allie would show up sometime later and offer Cecile a chance to go planeswalking with them.
Go planeswalking?
But yeah,
You said sometime later?
Yeah, they probably would wait for everything to settle down, calm down, you know, everybody start milling about in their lives again. And then Allie and Max would show up and say, hey, listen, we do a lot of planeswalking for the Harpers. Would you like to come with us?
One of those planes, the astral plane?
Oh, we go all over the planes.
It's the reason why Lasaria can disappear for years on end without any question.
If the astral sea is one of those stops, you probably found Cecile the Giants. Cecile, when
we know how to get there, and we are a really good support team.
Yeah, you found Cecile with the Giants back in fighter form?
Probably.
Cecile more or less went and held up her promise with the Giants that she convinced to leave in the castle. But she was like, I'll pay you more if you just leave now. And they went, sure. So went, found them, paid them back, then went back to the Giants to refighter.
Oh, the Northern Giants? Yeah. So your guys' couple of friends that you guys have made, you go back to their base camps, and you had offered them gold. A couple of those giants are now part of Blackfell. As like sentries and helping with heavy lifting and whatnot. And even though Fowlin and Powlin are like, I got cranes and things like that can move heavy rocks, it's like you guys named a couple of them.
Even Fowlin and Powlin still think a giant is useful to move stuff.
Yeah, and that's kind of
pick it up and put it down there.
Yep.
Like the forge.
Yep. A couple of the
looking at Cecile.
Grab my loot.
Oh, when I just moved a section of it? Yeah.
Put that in there.
Yep, a couple of the other the storm giants that you just convinced to leave by paying them money. You go back and pay them your due, and they're forever grateful for you. And after seeing the aftermath of the battle, they're glad that they weren't involved in that. But yeah, eventually you go back up to the northern mountains to meet up with the giants that helped you regain control when you lost it years ago. And the agreement was you were going to come back and kind of focus with them. And in doing so, you were able to revert back to fighter Cecile instead of forever staying as barbarian Cecile.
Yeah, but no.
So
when Allie actually.
So however many months later,
more official with
Cecile is found walking around through Blackfall in full armor again, looking more like instead of the great axe, its moonblade has shifted back to what it was when you were in fighter form.
Oh, that would have actually shifted much sooner. Before going in with the Giants, Cecile would have held it and told Oh, it was Anor and Ithiel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ithiel was knight.
Yes.
Yeah. I would have told Ithiel. Go find your brother. And then I will find you both.
The reluctance and the unsure, but eventually your blade goes completely silent, even when you do try to talk to it. You're not quite sure if he's there or if he's wandered. But there's a risk to him leaving now, and the fact of he might not be able to come back to the blade.
I'll tell him it's his choice. I'm not ordering him to leave. I'm letting him know he can if he would like to. My plan is to go and find.
Mm-hmm.
So it's his choice.
So, a few months after everything was said and done, eventually Timbers leaves Blackfall to go off to do his thing. Sledge and his kids leave Blackfall to go off and do their thing. Cece stays with his grandpas, occasionally leaving to go on missions to find unique and exotic materials for them.
Also, during those few months, when the group is first over at Waterdeep, Amir is going to tell Remy and Sir Esteval and basically his contacts with the... Oh, I'm blanking on the name.
Harpers.
The Harpers, and be like, Raven's Watch. Amir's gonna have a conversation with Cecile. Basically, just like, I'm glad you found your way. I'm glad you're able to come back to reality. I'm glad that you were able to heal. He's gonna give Cecile his bracers of flying dagger for for your travels. Yeah, for your missions ahead. And he's like, maybe someday
the Giants have some really nice schools.
That'll be one of my stops. I'm gonna take a break myself.
Allie recommends a really nice place in Silvery Moon. Her mother's kitchen.
Mm.
Be a chef.
And she always has use for people who just want to retire for a little bit and just do some local relaxation stuff.
That actually sounds like an excellent plan.
Mm-hmm.
Just be sure not to call my aunt a bitch.
Yeah, don't do an island. Don't call my aunt.
Okay. Now listen.
You know me, ma'am. I do have manners.
I thought I muted myself.
Oh, it was funny.
Oh no, it stays. It's the best.
Yes.
Listen, you know, gnomes, that language barrier is just a lot sometimes.
Correction. It wasn't just a bitch. It was ice bitch.
Yes. Oh no, I remember.
With that, Amir will go make his rounds, say goodbye, say thanks, and say his good luck. He will then he'll then leave and find Ray and Nightshade and be like, if memory serves me correct, I owe you a drink.
And then some. But we can start with the drink.
Yeah, I figure now, time for the drink. And then basically just goes on his little adventure of self-discovery and...
All right.
Eventually, when he shows up at Crystal's door, the first thing she hands him is a plate of his own and a mug of his own, and says, "Come on, sit down. Let's go. Let's go figure out where your skills are."
And Cecile will take up Allie and Max on hey,
Go some plane shifting.
need somebody to go with me to the Astral Sea, and sure as fuck I'm not gonna ask Hytune or Alita or any of these.
And Max and
I don't
Allie
love calling it youngins, but
and Max and Allie actually have skills to do this. This is what they do.
But at the same time, Cecile is like, I'm going to go tag along with you, but I am on a mission.
Over the course of the first couple weeks afterwards, Hyjun did donate some dragon stuff to the brothers to be able to, for them just play around with.
Roll me a D100.
Me?
Yeah?
mm-hmm.
Do I trust the digital or do I go physical?
Real dice.
Mm-hmm.
Final
Okay.
episode. And then if they're terrible, lie.
Give me something high, and remember you guys all still have at least one inspiration to use if it comes down to it.
Okay. Let's see. $88.
Chaotic, stupid.
On the metal dice.
Most of this party.
What level of armor do you wear? Light, medium?
I am currently. Give me 1 second. I'm in the mithril half plate, medium.
Medium?
Like I just gave it to him to experiment and play around with.
Brothers. It's Fallon and Powlin.
And I gave them stuff to play around with. They're like, we're making you something with this.
You get a matching set of blackened mithril armor with a pseudo helm in the shape of a dragon mask. You can pull it down and have it be this black and white themed armor, complete with, a cloak and hood and whatnot. You can either choose to have the mask up to be completely face revealed, or if you want to go into a battle mode, just kind of just snaps down in front.
That with the shadow of Moyle and that, just go full on. You want to fuck with me? Really?
Mm-hmm. It definitely gives you a intimidation boost whenever you go into battle mode. Because it's just this ominous, black, shadowy, draconic visage. But yeah, given that you gave them some time and lots of materials, you get a full set. Matching boots, gloves, gauntlets, bracers, chest piece, trousers, everything matching set.
You realize I will have gone and gotten these fully enchanted to best suit everything I need, right?
Oh yeah, boots of speed, bracers of water breathing, all that kind of stuff.
All was thinking going Skyrim rules where you can get 2 enchants on everything.
Nah, D&D rules, you get 1.
And you're taking it to Tanis.
Oh yeah, what was
to Tanis and Crystal, right?
what was your dark vision before?
They could make it beautiful.
My dark vision?
Yeah.
I have fuck, what was it?
Devil's Sight.
Yes.
Oh yeah, which gives you dark vision 120 feet. Okay. Making sure.
No change.
No change.
And not just dark vision 120 feet. I can see everything in color up to 120 feet.
Mm-hmm. And because of the Devil's Sight, you can see through illusions and yeah.
Magical and non-magical darkness.
You're kind of a force to be reckoned with when it comes to the passive stuff. Oh, you're prey. You're trying to hunt down an assassin that shapeshifts and or throws up illusion spells to make themselves kind of thing. Or you'd walk next to a wall and go, "Well, this is not real," and just walk right through it.
Oh, you mean like the Dark Souls? That doesn't look quite right. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Hydrun would have a heyday in like the Hag's Lair, just kind of like, oh, look at these a bunch of illusions just don't exist. Because you see right through them. So yeah. So Aelita, what do you do?
At some point, she'll probably end up going back to Silvery Moon for a couple of months, finalizing everything in the Temple of Mystra that she would have started her journey in, and then moved all of her personal effects to the temple in Blackfall.
Where she probably is the High Priestess at level 20.
Oh, yeah.
And just make a home for herself there. Each Hydrun alongside Cecile, every word in Elven except for something.
Gosh.
Yep.
You realize eventually she would figure it out, right?
Oh yeah, but that's not going to make the tattoo any less funny.
No, that's the beauty of this. Cecile taught Hydrun the word something, but in Draconic.
Instead of Elven.
Instead of Elven,
Yes.
so she still doesn't know what something means in Elven.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
guess
that
means I can put
tattoo.
Elven
has a
and
language.
Draconic in my languages.
Yeah.
Except for something.
Except for the word something.
And then in keeping with her, you know, her tattoos are essentially a walking meme. She'll probably get another one in another language that also means something.
I mean,
I finally learned something in Elvish. She's like, what's the other one?
Oh, the other one should be a different language that says or other. So then it's like, what did your tattoo say? Oh, you know, something or other.
There we go.
It's just something or other.
Is Hydrun no giant?
No.
Neither does Aelita.
At this point, Common, Draconic, Elvish, Sylvan, and Undercommon.
So is that Cecile's parting gift to Aelita before she leaves? Yep. Is we're going to get you a tattoo, but it's going to be in these old giant runes?
Mom recommends also would recommend tattooing something on her in Celestial.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I can do that too.
So imagine if a low party of
the full tattoo Cecile gives to Hydrun is the first word is or other in giant. The second word is something but in celestial. So it's something or other. It's not even in the right order though.
Right.
Yeah, because basically or other is here. Something is here.
Yeah, because Aelita's got something tattooed in Elven on her left collarbone, so she'll probably get or other tattooed either on the right side or somewhere on the left side of her body that is still covered by her armor.
Yeah, no. There's probably some offhanded comment, and Cecile pulls out paper.
Eventually, Hydrun will have the as many languages as she can possibly get.
It just turns into Hydrun's lifetime learning languages.
Trying to figure out what the hell.
What I want to do.
Man.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell Aelita has tattooed on her left collarbone, probably across her left hip or on the back of her left leg. What the fuck?
What does that say? Something. Motherfucker.
Or other.
Damn it, you have another language I need to learn. Shit.
So now,
Yeah.
the last person I need to ask, what does Nyla do?
Jeez.
Do you stay and become head of a bar, or?
Nyla is going to go ahead and head to the area that sends out some of the letters and everything that she does. She sends out a letter to a neighboring kingdom of hers, one of her cousins, that she'd been relatively acquainted with before the whole initial dipping out. She kind of starts packing up her things and everything else in between. She kind of like walks around town one final time before reminiscing about the past, how this place was built from the ground up. And she goes over to Hydrun and everyone, like, before they like dip and depart, and she like gives each of them a big hug, handing them each a handwritten letter, stating about the thanks that she has been getting through adventures, getting to know them, and all of that. And as she finishes up, she heads over to get herself like one of those ponies or whatever, something like around her height, and she rides back to Centauros. Her first thought was the while traveling alone back home, was the revival of Felros, so he could stand trial for what he has done. But at the same time, if he's out of the picture or if he comes back, she knows that there could be pose a problem. So she just leaves that part alone. But over time, she will help restore the kingdom, make sure it's all in its former glory, back when it was green, luscious, and filled with laughter and joys. And when all becomes said and done, she looks at her kingdom and does pretty much goes to like her parents' graves and kind of like have like a drone picture or of hers, a portrait of them resting above their graves as a memorial. But she in her the center of, what are they called? Where there's like this, like the center of the city and
Town
people can
square.
like hang around. Yeah, like the town square. in the middle of it, which took some time, is a giant statue of 7 people. Well, 8, including Ravine, but every one of her friends was centered and built right in the middle of town square. And underneath is the plaque that read, "The Slayer 7, Heroes of Faerun and Slayers of the Dragoness, the Dragon Queen." And she technically goes over multiple times with the Queen of Waterdeep, to train and to learn how to become a better queen, a better ruler than her parents were.
But
And
okay.
what?
Well, so you do realize that she can't take her throne back.
No, I know, but like, as much, not like a ruler, but more of like a making sure people are okay and everything, if that makes sense. Seeing what they need. And the money that she has given, the 10,000 gold, she has personally given to the city as her cousin takes over the throne. She opens up, or she comes back to this, or no, she doesn't come back. She opens up a portal in her town area. And I guess I'll put it in this, send it through the game log, if that's okay.
What kind of portal are we talking?
Are you making a permanent teleport?
This from the Magical Secrets.
You do realize you need a radiant beacon or a wish to make it permanent, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But she's not gonna make it permanent. She's going to use that portal, take one last look at her like kingdom and everything, and she's going to step through the portal
To where?
to Midgard.
To Midgard?
If that's allowed. I want to ask if that's allowed.
So you just leave this plane of existence?
She like leaves a note behind, like each of the notes like that reads in the description is for her friends to read. She like it explains how she is thankful for them, but she needs something new, a new change of scenery, and staying in this plane of existence. There's only so much she can do, and in her head, and this will be the final time they will see of Nyla as much.
Well, that's not true.
Well, to Nyla, that's what she thinks.
Okay.
But it's to her people say, this is the final time you'll see of me. I want to go out, make some new stories, make some new ventures, and spread songs. And maybe one day along my travels I'll open a bar, but for now,
In the dark realm?
see where-
I'm sure on our way through we can stop off in Midgard and Cecile could kick our ass and she'll come back.
It's gonna be like that parrot, like finding Nyla there and being like, "What fuck are you doing here?"
Have you researched what Midgard is? Think the material plane, but more darker, more grim fairy tale versus like Disney's slap over things.
Yeah, it's not Midgard like
It's like Dark Earth.
It's not Thor. It's
It-
bad.
No.
It is like the darker reality. It's a little bit more hostile, a little bit more chaotic.
If we ever do a future shot, it's gonna be Cecile showing up, grabbing Nyla by the scruff and being like,
The
"If
search
you
for
want
Nyla.
adventure- If you want adventure, different from this shit, go to the Feywilds, okay? There at least you can drop my name and find safe places."
Midgard? Isn't Midgard near northern Omira?
No.
No.
No. Oh, that's Summerlands.
Midgard's a plane of existence. Is a different
I'm sorry,
plane.
But no, I love Nyla going there though, and eventually everyone gets a distress beacon of I made a bad choice. We all have to meet up again to get Nyla out
You
of
announced you walked through the portal to Midgard, and then I'm just like outside of combat or outside of the game. I'm like, you do realize that's not a very good place, right?
No.
That's why
It
Nyla's. That's why Nyla wants to go, and just or her version. Like, yeah, it'll be bad, but at the same time, it's Nyla. What do you expect?
Exactly.
It is a Nyla move.
You
Yes,
you
was a
basically are
funny
like,
character. I
you
love
opened a
this.
portal, thinks you're going to Mexico, but then you step out and you're in New Mexico. Not
much.
quite where you were going.
Her magic is still iffy when it comes to the magical secrets, so she's trying her best, and she's like, you know what? I think I've had enough. I'm done. Time for a new adventure. 3 seconds later,
And off she goes.
See-
SOS!
This
But
is,
that will be a later time. That might be a next campaign thing.
but the funny part is you could run across Cecile and Max and Allie passing through Midgard for something, and all I see is Cecile go, "Now wait, Allie, stop."
Wait.
Well,
Down an alley.
Thanks.
Is that who I think it is?
No.
Sorry, hug attack. Kiss.
I
But
can
yeah,
see a
no,
number of
absolutely.
scenarios.
A dead stop. Look down the alley. No.
But in the middle of the town square, if people look closely, they'll see the Dragon Slayer's longsword embedded in stone.
you didn't take that with you?
No, you take it with you. No. That's got to go with you. Come on, you're not that dumb.
Well,
What are
it's
you not taking with you?
it's Burma's choice. Do you leave the Dragon Slayer longsword at the stab?
I understand why Nyla's doing
no.
it.
She leaves the Dragon Slayer longsword in the stone, but it's basically magically, I think I want to say magically attuned to the stone where it can't leave.
You have the stone enchanted. Okay.
Can you bring me a water?
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, Tannis will spend a couple days there making sure that sword can't be removed.
Not
Ever.
without a specific trigger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And the trigger is Nyla coming back and going, "I'm so stupid."
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I would really hate for a low-level adventuring party to show up to Blackfall, find their way to the temple, and think that the High Priestess is just a pushover because you got the High Priestess level 20 champion of Mistra, betrothed to the Draconic champion Pantheon of Death. Such a yin-yang moment. go to the forge. They can't fuck with Fallon and Pollen because there's a level 20 artificer that's ready to fuck everybody up. Like, yeah, this place is kind of secure.
Yeah, and if they need any other securities, there's a level there's a level 20 druid who's basically got the hand of God that can rearrange their gardening outside for them. Like, you want a gnarly forest no one will get through? I'll grow it for you.
Yep. To any enemies that might come around, Blackfall kind of goes into legend as that dwarven fortress protected by lightning. Anytime something nefarious gets close to it, the lightning storm appears out of nowhere. Only those who know understand why this happens.
Kirk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kirk ends up going all over Sword Coast, kind of being that death from above kind of character that swoops in with
The draconic-looking Aarakocra.
the draconic-looking Hawk Aarakocra. Blue feathers and all, swooping down out of the skies to freak the fuck out of.
Scales as well.
Mm-hmm.
2 sets of wings. One
Yeah.
bird, one dragon.
Yeah, he spends the remainder of his days kind of protecting the area as much as he can. Basically, any one of you guys that happens to see unnatural lightning out of the distance. Well, there's no storm clouds over there. Why is there lightning? Kirk's doing something over there.
All he's doing is Superman thing again.
What?
It's called. It's what Brianna refers to as the finger of God, and not the good one.
But as the fine little bit,
No. On screen.
as Harbin, the once Harbin Winster, the one timid mayor of Phandalin, now currently running Blackfall. Man, that was a different thing. The small little city of Phandalin, small little town of Phandalin with only like a couple hundred people to city worth thousands. Probably the most powerful structure area in Sword Coast.
Being just the face to actually leading it though now.
I mean, he's basically like the operations manager. He oversees everything. He flows everything in. He's kind of been like almost like the face mayor. Alyssa was kind of running everything in the background, but kind of they had a game plan to where if she was gone for adventuring reasons, he could still go day by day. You just kind of had to give him the heads up as to why his ravens were coming back empty-handed, why they were coming back with the messages that he sent out, because there wasn't any reply coming back. But yeah, after a while, everything just kind of fades out. Blackfall stays running as powerful as ever, and
Does radio move in?
I would have personally built a spot for radio if he moved in.
Most likely, radio would have moved in, yes, because he was on his way.
His own little home. He doesn't have to find these little spots. I will build him custom little spots throughout the city.
And given the size of the city, the one really good thing that, I mean, he gets paid well because imagine being anywhere in the city and just getting a psychic, a telepathic message of some sort of announcement. Yeah, his range is insane. So he basically gives. He's the early warning system. He is the alarm. He is the notification. all of a sudden you're walking around town and you just get the psychic message lights out in 20 minutes. Oh, yep, that's right. That's let's go back. Or if there's an accident, he can call out for assistance. So yeah, it's a nice little thing. It's like basically having like an app and getting text messages.
I did take his dimensions and give them to the cousins to make him better clothing and armor to protect our little buddy.
Oh yeah, not only that, but they make a range.
I commissioned it out of she took the measurements. I commissioned it out of the dragon material.
Mm-hmm.
And by took the measurements, I mean I stuck my helmet down on the bar. I was like, "You're about that big." Okay.
But even at the same time, in Harbin's office, there's this little contraption where it like boosts his signal, so he doesn't have to strain as much to get signal out. He can kind of pick and choose who he gets, so if there is enemies within the city walls, they don't get those psychic messages, but everybody else does. But yeah, it's
message directly to Hydrune.
Basically, that's what happens if
her army will get it dealt with.
Oh yeah, and you're talking probably about the most situationally alarmed and notified place of all of existence.
Training, get that? Okay, boys, live exercise. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
In the city.
Yeah, where Hydrune all of a sudden gets a ping from radio that's like, scouts noticed movement on the western wall. Cool. We'll go check it out. Like the city, like other cities have.
I get a sending stone directly for communication to radio, and so when that happens, like
it's not even
keep me informed.
It's not even a sending stone. He's a long range he is a long range telepathic.
Okay, so
with a contraption that allows him to pick and choose.
He can go out. I didn't know he could receive as well.
No, he with the contraption that Fowlin and Powlin make, he can receive. He can basically stay linked to an individual for a moment and get received messages too. I mean, it's the reason why.
And keep eyes on him.
Yep. So yeah, it. Whereas other cities use the sending stones that have the ability to get disabled or broken or destroyed kind of thing. Not radio. You can sit there and go, I don't care if you're hiding underneath rock, I can still hit you.
Yeah, same thing with Allie.
But
Allie's range isn't as massive as radio's, but she can go at least a football field.
I remember when we found the little picture of his all suited up and whatnot, but yeah, it was just this tiny little dude.
Yep.
Tiny little gnome guy. So yeah, as everything flourishes and you guys go off on different adventuring situations for the final time for this campaign, for the end of this epilogue, we will close it out here. And yeah, for Kicking YouTube, we will see you on the next campaign. There will be another campaign. It's just the when will determine in a few months when we get that started up. Potentially new group of people. Who knows? We'll see. Go from there.
Maybe even a new DM.
The world may
And let the
never know.
current DM be a player.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably be more games. I know there's going to be a rebranding of my channel, make it more of a community thing, get more uploads from different things and different people's different games, and go from there. So yeah, for the final time of the Slayer 7, we say goodbye to Kicking YouTube, and we'll pick you up in the next campaign. Until then, bye.
Bye, Kick. Bye, YouTube.
All right.